my addiction was minor league baseball. It wasn't drinks. It wasn't drugs. It wasn't gambling. It was minor league baseball. That was my addiction, and I've been able to kind of rehabilitate myself.
It's been 15 years since Todd Parnell arrived in Richmond, helping to bring baseball back to the River City. Almost immediately, the man known as Parney became a local celebrity and a champion for this community. He helped take the diamond out of the rough, filling it back up with fans and family. Today, we talk about his journey from small-town North Carolina to becoming one of the top executives in minor league baseball. And as the end of the first Flying Squirrels era approaches, what the future holds for this passionate promoter. Big welcome to Parney.
Rhythmic clap,
welcome.
everybody. Rhythmic clap.
Big welcome.
Yes.
If you're a Richmonder, you know who Todd Parnell is. He is the CEO and I guess, face of the Flying Squirrels.
Used to be the CEO.
Yes, recently stepped down, or how do you
hit the brakes?
Hit the brakes. Okay, so let's get into that. Let's unpack that.
I tried to help
that
you
is
with
sort
that,
of the headline. Yeah. What's going on?
So I've been doing this a long time. Actually, I'm still working, but in 2022, true story. I've always felt like if people have to say true story, that they're probably known for not telling true stories.
As well. Yeah.
Like I tell my kids all the time, if somebody tells you that they're not a cheater, they're usually a cheater.
So in other words, you're suspect.
Yeah. But 2022, I was down in Sandbridge. Our family owns a beach house down there, and I was under so much stress with the ballpark, and the ballpark had been talked about since before my arrival in 2009. And I was really feeling the stress of all that, and literally looked up at the sun and said, my two oldest daughters were with me. I'm like, guys, I need to make some changes in my life. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, it's time for me to slow down before they find me in my office slumped over the desk. Because that's where I was headed. Like my average blood pressure, this is not a Parney exaggeration, everybody. This is the truth. My average blood pressure my last year as CEO of the Squirrels was like 190 over 110. Like I was headed down a very bad path because I love it so much, because I am the face of the franchise, and because I'm always on, right? And I just felt like it. Not only that personally, and I wasn't sick or anything, but I could just see it coming.
Yeah.
And then people like Ben Rothrock, Anthony Opperman, Megan Engstad, they were just waiting for their opportunity to shine. Lou DiBella as our owner, terrific friend. I mean, not a lot of people are lucky enough to work with people that are their bosses, and when you hang up the phone, you say, I love you, buddy, and they say, I love you, buddy, back.
That's amazing.
We worked it through with him, and I signed a 5-year deal to be a senior advisor, which I'm still not sure what that is, but what that means is I'm part-time Parney. I'm around a couple of days a week physically. I help on Carmack's Park, specifically in the area of sales. Was active in the Carmack situation, was active in some of the other founding partners that we've already announced. We have some more in the bucket. So it allowed me to take better care of myself, and I exercise every day. I'm now a Peloton freak, and I love the Peloton, and spend more time doing things I've never done. I cooked dinner for my wife, and it was just, I was not living a well-rounded life.
More balance.
I didn't know what balance was.
Yeah.
Because I would be at the ballpark at 6 a.m. and I would leave the ballpark at 1 or 2 a.m. and shower, rinse, repeat.
How's the blood pressure?
It might be a little rough because I just did a 2-hour tour at Carmack's Park right now, and it's hot out. But we're generally around 120 over 80. Okay, so I've lost about 35 to 40 pounds, and I'm hoping to lose a bunch more. And that's not my goal. My goal is to feel better, be healthier. And I'll end all this self-talk by saying my doctor said to me the other day, a few years ago, I didn't think you were going to make it to 65.
Wow.
Now, with those changes you've made in your lifestyle and just the lack of stress, I feel like you're going to be past 80. And I'm like, I wasn't really planning on living past 80.
Yeah,
so
make some new plans.
I got to find some money. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to run out.
Better sell some stuff over
about
at that
70, 71.
Park.
I'm going to run out of money. So, but it's been great. And just having the house in Sandbridge, it's called the 7th inning stretch, and being able to have moments with my wife Tanya and our kids. We spend weeks there, Thanksgiving's there, Christmas is there, and kind of living life that I didn't know existed, because for 34 years I was literally at the ball. I mean, I would go to the ballpark. I'm not proud to say this, and I'm being a little put myself out there a little bit, but I would go to the ballpark on Christmas Day. That's how.
Wow.
Like, I always tell people that my addiction was minor league baseball. It wasn't drinks. It wasn't drugs. It wasn't gambling. It was minor league baseball. That was my addiction, and I've been able to kind of rehabilitate myself thanks to Lou DiBella. I mean, he could have said, "Wait, you want to retire? Then go retire," but instead he said, "No, you always need to be around the Squirrels,
right,
for your own good and for the good of the Squirrels." So it's been great. I feel much better mentally, physically, spiritually, and I'm still able to be involved, which I'm extremely grateful for.
Yeah, I'm sure all the institutional knowledge that you have,
Some people might say I need to be institutionalized.
That too. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I would think it would be unwise to let that walk out the door at this juncture, especially with the new ballpark being where it is. I mean, how much did that factor in? Because as you were describing this really stressful, I mean, I think that would have been there no matter what the circumstances, just given, as you said, this sort of addiction that you have. But given the fact that there was this massive project that was always looming, and pretty much your entire time you've been here, that has been hanging in the balance, and it hasn't been easy. I mean, it has been a rough road to get this thing done.
Yeah, I think that took a toll on me, and I get emotional about it, because I told Tanya when we did the naming rights announcement and the groundbreaking, I'm like, what are people going to interrupt us at dinner for when we're out having dinner together? Because we would get interrupted 10 times a night. What's going on with the new ballpark? Like, for our whole relationship, 15 years in Richmond,
right.
That's all people. And I literally, like, just a few minutes ago, I literally stopped in center field and had tears coming down my eyes, and like, it's really happening, right? And I think that's what makes it so special. And again, I'm so grateful to Lou that I'm still involved and I'm able to make these lifestyle changes and still be impactful in the community, and still be around when it happens and be an impactful part of when it happens. But it's really happening.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people didn't think that it would ever happen.
I might have been in that category. It stretched so many, people on council had changed over, mayors had changed over, right. Seasons had gone by. It seemed like it seemed like this, far-fetched idea that might one day, but, when you actually see bulldozers and
right.
beams going up, and you're like, wow, that kind of looks like a stadium.
Yeah, there was glass going in the suites.
Yeah. So
I have something that's really important to me. I write it down. I'm old-fashioned. I write. I don't put stuff in my phone. Every single day of my life, I have a legal pad, a yellow legal pad. That's how old I am, and I write different things on it. Like, I organize my task and my agenda for the day, both personally and professionally. But every single day, in the top left corner, I write the same thing. And it's, in every difficult situation, there's always value. And I personally feel like the Flying Squirrels wouldn't mean to you and the community and everybody in the whole world, we wouldn't mean as much if we would have gotten the ballpark in 2010 or 2011. I feel like y'all became a part of our plight. Our fans became a part of the agony of the process, right?
Yeah.
And I think people would feel for us.
Right. There's an investment in that new ballpark that might not be there without that struggle. You know what I mean? And I do think, I'm curious to know from you, as someone that has, been around baseball for so many years, and specifically minor league baseball too, what is it that is so different or so important about a new space? Like, how does that change the dynamic? Because it does. There's no question that it does. I just wonder what changes.
For one, when it rains, I won't get rained on in my office from all the leaks in my office. I used to take videos and send them to the mayor all the time. Look at this waterfall over here. But, I think there's in minor league baseball, we were talking before we started. To me, there's difference between minor league baseball and Major League Baseball and the fan experience and the fan engagement. In Richmond, it's even different than it is in other cities. This is what I mean. Our fans in Richmond, and I'm not just being nice. Our fans here in Richmond are so committed to the Squirrels, and I think it's because of the plight and it's because of the fight. People are so appreciative. I was working out in my neighborhood not too long ago at Sunrise, and I'd just gotten started. I had the earplugs in, and a car went past me and then hit the brakes. It's like 6:30 in the morning, and came back towards me. I'm like, uh-oh, this is it. Like, you know, I've seen this in a movie before, you know? Doesn't end good. I watched Goodfellas. I know what's about ready to happen. And the guy rolled down his window and said, "Don't be alarmed, Parney. My wife's with me, and we just wanted to say thank you for everything that you and the Squirrels have done for this community." I don't think it's about the 69 games. I don't even think it's about the Diamond or Carmax Park. I think it's about the way that we do our reading program in the schools, the way we have our senior or Silver Squirrels program. Like, we physically make a difference in people's lives. Nutsy and Natasha do over 500 appearances in the community. So we're a baseball team, but when we got here in 2010, I remember saying to somebody, "Who's U-Crops?" And they told me. And I said, "I want us to be the new U-Crops. I want us to be the organization that people come to when they need assistance or when they need a community favor." And that's happened through the years. And I think that's the bond that we have, and it's really unique and it's really special. But to get back to your original question, I told you I was going to go off on tangents. I think that there's a physical need for the Diamonds being great, and we're all going to cry when we have our last game. We were talking about it when I was walking in here. There's a lot of one of my buddies got engaged to his wife in the Diamond. He worked for the Braves. His wife's no longer with us. He's going to be a mess, right? There's going to be a lot of millions of memories were made there. But it's like driving a car from 1985. Now it's 2026 next year. 2026 cars have all the bells and whistles. They have all the modern efficiencies, and your experience in that car is better than if you're driving a 1985 car. So the fans, not just for baseball, but for concerts and festivals and business events, like all those things are going to be more effective for people of all walks of life in the community. To me, that's the difference between a new facility and the need for a new facility and an older facility, and that's what people are going to see. The year-roundness of Carmax Park is going to be significantly more than the Diamond.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. The timing of your decision to sort of self-care and give yourself more balance seems to be in line with sort of the launching of this new park. Did you feel like it was your mission or maybe just your goal to get that to a point where you could set it free and say, okay, we're on the right track. I checked this box. I did what I said I was going to do. And now I can sort of, release it a little bit.
We weren't quite to the finish line yet. And like I said, it was some sort of an epiphany kind of deal on the beach in Sandbridge. But the way I'll answer that question is I knew Ben Rothrock was ready. I knew because Ben Rothrock and I have worked together for 25 years. He can finish the sentences before. He'll literally know what I'm going to say. Anthony Opperman, Megan Engstead, I'm going to leave some people out, but there's a lot of people that have been working for the Squirrels and with the Squirrels for a long time. Some in multiple stints, like Megan went away and came back. So I knew all those people were ready to pick up any pieces, that were, not pieces, but I knew they were ready and I knew that they were ready to shine, and I had zero doubts about that. So on one hand, I had this epiphany. I knew that I needed to make some changes in my life. On the other hand, I knew that they were ready. And then Lou did his thing where he talked it through with me and, let a spur of the moment decision massage it a little bit so that it turned out into a minimum 5-year relationship. Because it would have killed me not to have an office at the Diamond still. It would have killed me in retrospect. It would have killed me to have the last game of the Diamond and not be significantly involved. You know what I mean? So I didn't really think that through. And thankfully, Lou loves me enough that he helped think that through with me and for me.
Is there anybody that has a big personality like you involved in this next chapter? I mean, you have a lot of energy. You have a lot of energy.
Not as much as I used to.
I mean, I can't imagine what it used to be then, because I mean, your energy is high. You know, your signature pants, like you just sort of like bring fun with you wherever you go, and like that by itself is going to make something go. You know what I mean? Is there a fun element in this pipeline?
Yeah, I think, well, there's multiple people, you know, and I think that's one of the cool things about still being around is they can push me out there when they feel like they need to, right?
Yeah.
Or when they want to, or
You could take John Burkett on lease if you'd like.
there you go. Okay.
Just kidding.
Johnny B.
He does remind
Crime Stopper. But it's different. Everybody's got their own thing. Like Megan, for example, she does a great job on the field. She's a sparkly girl. She's got sparkles all the time.
Yeah.
Anthony Opperman, who in my mind is one of the best people I've ever seen with a microphone on a baseball field. Truly believe that. He's not on the field a lot, but when he is, he's wearing something different every single time. So I think people are starting to evolve into their shtick, like the pants became my shtick back in 2012, to the point now where I quite literally don't have a regular pair of pants.
They're all just
like
wacky.
I quite literally don't have a pair of pants. And, you know, part of the next chapter in the Parney life is I'm literally thinking about starting a Parney pants company.
That's a great idea. What a great idea.
And there's other iterations I'm sure we'll get into, like Parney's Pub and Diamond District, and there's a whole bunch of things. But that's part of, the answer to your question is part of my peacefulness and calmness about slowing down is I knew that there were personalities and people, wouldn't be quite like me, but the compilation of them all would be so that people could still make memories of the Diamond and moving into Carmax Park. Because that's the bottom line. What are you going to do every single day? Every single day is a gift from God to help make people's life better. It's not about a baseball game. We're not in the baseball business. We're not in the entertainment business. We're in the memory-making business. So how are we going to do that?
It's a fun space to be able to get work in for your, you know what I mean? You got to think about that. There's probably a million different, you know, careers that involve some of those things you mentioned, but the memory-making business, that's a fun space to be in,
well,
right?
it's
And
fun.
impactful.
Yeah,
really
because,
impactful.
you know, I used to do a lot of speeches, and Megan and Anthony and some others do them, almost all of them now. But I'll do about 100 to 150 speeches a year. And in every single speech, I would change it up based upon the crowd. But every single speech, I had a staple, and that was, how many people love baseball? Raise your hand. And it was generally 50%, 60%, 70%. Put your hands down. How many people love making memories with your family and friends? Raise your hand. And God bless the person who wouldn't raise their hand, because I would point them out and call them all kinds of names and tell you're a miserable person, you know, that kind of stuff. But because of that, some really cool things have happened, like the gentleman that stopped his car, you know, or you know, people that have gotten buried in Squirrels jerseys, believe it or not, or gotten buried with autographed baseball, or you know, that's the fun thing about Richmond. And the meaningful thing about Richmond is the Squirrels as a minor league baseball team mean more to this community than any team I've ever seen in my 36 years of minor league baseball. Like if I've had people come up to me like, if you guys are going to have to leave, like I can't imagine Richmond without the Squirrels. And one of my best friends, like my son just had a baby, and if I can't take my grandchildren to the Squirrels game someday, I'm going to have to move.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
so that's the part that's been so fulfilling, that it's not about, you know, the fact that it's baseball, but it's probably the fact that we're so much a fabric of this community now. And then I go back to the days when people wanted to chase us out of town because we named the team the Flying Squirrels, right? Like I remember sitting in bars and I didn't have the pants, nobody knew who Parney was. I was basically a faceless creature at that time. And I'd hear some people at the bar going, I don't know who that jerk is that named the team the Flying Squirrels, but whoever he was, I wish he would go back to where he came from. And I'd be like, excuse me, bartender, give all those people shots. But you got to tell them it's from the person who named the team the Flying Squirrels. And then they would all become friends, right?
Yeah.
So I think back to those days. And this has been cool about my semi-retirement and also just the time frame that we're in with the Squirrels is the time of reflection and gratefulness has been just of major abundance, reflecting back to when we didn't have a name, reflecting back when we named the team the Flying Squirrels, the first game selling out in 21 days and people coming up to the gate that night going, I want a box seat. And we're like, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a little different now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just all the relationships that we've made and the meaningful memory moments that people have had has been really special.
Well, last question before we throw to a break. I just want to get an update fimeline for people on the CarMax Stadium. When is that set to be finished?
Okay, we just announced that CarMax Park, the first Squirrels game ever is going to be April 7th, 2026.
Okay.
April 7th. Where's all the cameras? April 7th, 2026. April 7th, 2026. But I'm proud to say, thanks to the great people that I've been mentioning before, and Ted Van Zelst, the CRO, and many, many others, Jamie Gordon, there's a lot of great announcements that are going to be taking place about the success and the momentum pertaining to ticket sales and some other things. So April 7th will be the first game. There'll be a lot of other events. That's the thing about CarMax Park is it's going to be a 12-month-a-year venue. As a matter of fact, when we do presentations, we very, very rarely ever say ballpark.
Right, because it's a venue.
We say venue, we say facility, and that's what it is. And people will see there's so many different spaces and so many different destinations within the destination of CarMax Park. And every time we do a tour with someone, like I said for 5 times now, I just got done with one. I love just looking at the people's faces. And then I think about, the 10-year-olds that are going to be 40-year-olds someday, and they're going to be bringing their 10-year-olds to CarMax Park. And I'm sure I'll be long gone at that point unless my doctor's really wrong and I'm 100 years old. But the moments that families are going to have there. So it's going to be emotional to say goodbye to the Diamond, but we're moving to a new place and a new home where we're going to make even more memories in a more modern environment. And that's what's so exciting. But CarMax Park, April 7th, 2026. But there'll be a lot of other events in addition to the 69 Squirrels games that'll be announced within the next few months.
All right. Well, we're going to...
Did I talk too much? I feel like I talked too much.
No, never. Okay. Never.
I think always. I think I talk too much always.
We like guests who talk too much around here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. If you're enjoying Untold, like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also rate and follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, so let's talk about the popularity.
Let's talk about you. Let's talk about me. Let's talk about my what I think, what I want, what I need. Usually, but occasionally, let's talk about me.
We're back with Parney. We're back.
Rest in peace,
so
Toby Keith.
Boring. I wish I had a more interesting guest
Toby
today.
Keith.
So,
what do you want to talk about?
Okay, now let's talk about the popularity of baseball and how. What are the strategies of getting new fans? Like that's a big part of your job. Like getting people to be interested in baseball that maybe haven't thought of it. How do you do that?
Well, I think it gets back to what we were talking about in the first segment about memory making, right? It can't always be about the baseball. It's got to be about, somebody in the family might like funnel cake. Somebody might want to catch a foul ball. Somebody might want to get a picture with Nutsy. Somebody might want to get a picture with Parney. Like Andrew, who now works for us, who showed me a picture of me and him at the front gate when he was 10 years old. Wow. Really special. Like those are the moments that I feel like God has blessed me with that not many people can get. Like when you have meaningful moments with people and you don't even know they're meaningful moments. But I think baseball's done a really good job at the major league level. People love to critique and criticize the commissioner, but MLB was very influential in helping Lou DeBella and the Squirrels get to the finish line with the city. I think that's been pretty well documented. They know that Richmond's a great market. They know that the Squirrels do a great job. Lou and his partners are great owners. So, I think that they've been very influential in this whole process. But, certain rules like this, the pitch clock rule has really sped the game up, particularly at the big league level where they were doing like 3.5-hour games, because they have a longer commercial break.
Right.
But at our level, it went from like 2:50 to like 2:31, 2:30. And a lot of executives in minor league baseball, this is when I was still the CEO, a lot of executives were like, they're going to make the game too quick and we're not going to be able to make concessions money. And I'm like, dude, people leave. They either get there late or they leave. Like,
right.
Show me a ballpark at a 3-hour game and I'm going to show you all the families are gone, So I think that one rule has been very good. As a person who spent their entire adult life running minor league baseball teams and hating extra innings, partly for the reason I just mentioned, putting the runner on second brought a lot of, in extra innings, brought a lot of criticism from baseball purists, but I loved it. And I also think it's very exciting for fans, especially if you're home, because you have a potential walk-off victory every single time because you got the last up. So I think that there's some rules that I wouldn't agree with, like the golden batter rule and some of the things that have come out. But as far as making the game speed up and keeping it interesting for the society that we are, I don't have my phone near me.
And no one has any attention span, right? We're watching TV with our phone in our hand.
So, I think the commissioner's also done a good job with streaming and those types of things to get the 20, 30-something. And one of the things I'm proud about with the Squirrels is go to a Squirrels game, and particularly in Carmack's Park with all the areas that we have, like adult playlands, I'll call them, with the different bars and the places in the outfield. But stand with me at the gate. I don't stand up there very much anymore because that's for Ben and Anthony and others to do. But used to in 2010 at the front gate, you'd see one or two people walking across the bridge from what wasn't even called Scott's Addition back then. And now right around first pitch time, it's like the bars over in Scott's Addition empty out, and it's like a herd that just comes across. And I think it's going to be even more so in Carmack's Park because Scott's Addition, one of the first things somebody said, I moved here August 2nd, 2009. Somebody said to me, don't go across the bridge after dark.
Wow. How times have changed.
Now, if you don't live in Scott's Addition now, you're not part of the hit crowd,
You're not
right?
cool.
Yeah.
One thing I want to go back to is the fight to get this thing done.
Oh, you want to give me PTSD, huh?
Yeah, I want the untold story. I want to know, like, what if you had to characterize this in a word, this chapter of trying to get this thing across the finish line, how would you characterize it?
One word. It's hard to put 15 years into one word. Roller coaster. How's that? Roller coaster. But I always, again, in every difficult situation, there's always value. And I think we grew in ways that we could never have possibly grown. And I also think like Lou DiBella is a boxing promoter, Hall of Famer, New York City guy. And a lot of people try to vilify him sometimes, particularly politically. And I never appreciated that because Lou was an absolute determined person to get to the finish line on this. And there were a lot of other owners in minor league baseball that would have left.
Yeah.
2010 came, 2011 came, 2012, on and on, 2018. And there were a lot of owners in minor league baseball that would have left, and Lou believed and loved this market. So I hope that in this transition, as we wind down the diamond and we're transitioning to Carmack's, I hope Lou DiBella gets the credit that he truly deserves because he was a huge reason, to your point, during this roller coaster ride. He could have gotten off the roller coaster whenever he wanted to, and he stayed on to the end and was determined.
What do you think was the most common obstacle throughout those years that was standing in the way? I mean, what do you learn over this process. I do think difficult things there's always value. You definitely walk away learning something. What was it was it politics? Was it personality? Was it
I mean, when
power?
you have 15 years, it's all the things you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Politics, personality, power, personal agendas, real estate,
Yeah.
money, financing, like all of it. But at the end of the day, it came down to: are we going to do this thing or not? Are we going to save the squirrels? We never really said that, I don't think, publicly, but it came down to everybody getting in a room and saying what I said before: Richmond can't be without the squirrels. And meanwhile, when all that's happening, we have a talented group of front office staff that is engaging with the fans in the way. I said this on the CBS 6 special before opening night this year, and Lou has said this before too. The fans were the reason that CarMax Park happened, because it put the politicians and the local business leaders in a spot where they had to do it.
Yeah.
They had to do it, or the fan base and the constituency, I don't even be able to say that, constituency.
Yep,
Did I say that right?
You got it.
I'm a product of the North Carolina public school system. We're 48th in the country. So long words are tough for me. But the fans, the loyalty of the fans put us in the situation where it had to be a must-save.
Gave you the leverage to make it.
Yeah,
make
it had. I mean, the squirrels had to be here.
Yeah.
And that's because of the fans. And, that's one of the things I'm just so excited about as we wind down the Diamond, seeing people make their last memories at the Diamond, but saluting the fans for being the reason, along with Lou and the owners and Ben and Anthony and the front office staff that were in all those rooms. I wasn't in those rooms at the end. But, those people having the intestinal fortitude to stick out the tough times.
Yeah.
And continue to build it to the point where there's not many situations in life where you build something that's so good that people can't live without it.
Yeah.
You know?
And what you built as a team and as the community, but now you actually built it, right? And if you build it, they will come. Hopefully fans grow and this gets better and bigger. And, but I do think it's such a journey. I mean, it had to have been just this weight around you the whole time that this was pending, right? It was just this huge, for someone that has a notepad and a pending column, that was just always in your column.
For 15 years.
Yeah, and now it's not.
I mean, I think that was part of the reason I got so, and I don't use the term burnout or whatever, because again, it was just kind of a God slapped me in the face kind of moment where I knew that I just needed to make changes, but it was burdensome, because I love Lou and I could see Lou going through it. I even love people on the other, I shouldn't say the other side, but the politicians. LeVar Stoney was my neighbor, literally my next door neighbor. So there was just this pressure everywhere I went of getting torn and turned and then the public doubt. But I'll say this, the public doubt, when it did happen, and the older we got, the less the public doubt, even because people loved us so much. But, in the beginning, when we named the team the Flying Squirrels, for example, and people would be like, that's the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life. I'm not going to one game. I just want you to know that. And I'm like,
okay,
I'll see you in May.
Yeah.
Do you have kids? No, I have grandkids. I promise you I'm going to recognize your face. And you're going to be at least at 6 games. How old are they? They're 8 and 6. Oh, man, I might see you 12 times. And I would see those people.
Yeah.
And I'd just kind of wink at them and be like, so it's those moments of going through that makes you who you are, and it makes you grateful for the process. Again, I've said it 3 times on this show already, we wouldn't be who we are without the struggle of getting to this point. And the last game of the Diamond wouldn't mean nearly as much as it's going to mean without all the struggle of getting to this point. The roller coaster, to the word that you made me come up with. And then April 7th of next year wouldn't mean as much if it had happened 10 years before. And one other thing, I know I'm talking too much, but another cool part is how many players are excited about it. I'm talking about players that played 15 years ago that have been in the big leagues for 10 years.
Yeah.
Some players that even retired, and they're like, man, you and Lou, you guys should be so happy, And now, like, my job now is to do whatever Ben and Anthony and others ask me to do. And they're like, hey, could you see like what players might want to come back for the last game of the Diamond? And so I'm getting to reach out to all these players and talk to them. And our goal always was the beginning of every season, I would talk to the team in the locker room. Like, no matter how long you're here, we want Richmond, Virginia to be your favorite spot. When you get to the big leagues, we want you to talk about how much fun you had in Richmond. And across the board, like, there's guys that are going to be coming in with their families now. They're retired and they got kids coming in for the last games because they want to show their sons and their daughters where they played in Richmond.
Oh, that's really special. That's a good note for our next break. And when we come back, we're going to do a lightning round of questions.
Oh, do you think I could answer anything short?
No, it's going to take a while. All right, we'll be right back. If you're enjoying Untold, like and subscribe on YouTube. You can also rate and follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're back with Parney, the most boring person you've ever hung out with.
Oh, did you hear my legs just creak? I'm so old.
You're supposed to be exercising.
I am exercising. I'm already done today. I'm tired. I'm ready to go take a nap.
Good. Well, you're going to need a nap after this.
All right.
So I'm going to ask you a series of questions really fast. You got to give me like your fastest answers.
Okay.
Best snack for sale.
Little Debbie's.
Okay. Best snack for sale at the ballpark.
Dippin' Dots. Is that a snack?
Yeah, that would be a snack. The city leader in Richmond you're most likely to call for help.
Now, Danny.
Okay. Currently?
Yeah, it's currently Danny.
Okay. The city leader you're most likely to have a beer with.
LeVar.
The best.
Is he still a community leader?
Yeah, sure. The best baseball player ever. The GOAT.
Willie Mays.
Okay.
And I was in Birmingham, Alabama, in the Willie Mays Pavilion at Rickwood Field, place named after him the night he died.
Why do you think he's the best?
He could do everything: speed, defense, had a joy for the game. I think he's the best player that ever played.
Okay. Who are you jealous of?
My wife, because she's perfect.
Oh, good answer. Good
God,
answer.
I hope she watches this show.
Good answer. Who is the best major league team?
Well, we're affiliated with the San Francisco Giants, so therefore I'll
Mike
have to say
Bergazzi likes that answer.
I have to say the Giants.
Yeah. Okay. Got another good answer. What makes for a bad day at work?
I've always said that if you work in minor league baseball and you do it right, your worst day at work will be better than most people's best day at work. So I'll answer it that way. But the other way I'll answer it, this goes back to my CEO days of high blood pressure, rain out.
I was going to say rain. I was going to guess that. Who do you think has had the biggest influence on your career? It's such a melting pot. I know this is a lightning round, but it's such a melting pot. But I'll go all the way back, and this is kind of a cliche answer for a lot of people. In minor league baseball, there's like 30 people that have impacted me. But my work ethic and my passion for what came from my dad. So I'll say Ray Parnell. Oh, that's a nice answer too. If you could give the city of Richmond one piece of advice on how to move forward faster, given your experience,
trust what you have and who you're working with and what they're capable of.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is that a boring answer?
No, it's not. It's not a boring answer. No, it's actually an insightful answer. I think people can read into that.
And I also think our old manager used to have a sign on his door that said, it doesn't matter who gets the credit as long as good gets done. And I think that was one of the, like, doesn't matter who gets the credit as long as the job gets done.
Right. That's a good one too. Who is the nicest professional athlete you've ever met?
Well, he's one of my best friends, so I'm going to say Jerome Bettis. But that's one of the cool things about this job, and people always bust my chops. but you're such a name dropper. And I'm like, it's not name dropping if they're in your cell phone. That's my rule. Like
Right.
I can say their name,
Sure.
you know, if they're in my phone. But Jerome's been there for me as a friend for 20 some years, and we've gone through a lot together. Both of our fathers passed away, so I would say Jerome.
Yeah, I was wondering about since we're on this topic, your relationship with Dale Earnhardt. Have you?
Yeah, that was, you did your research. So that was a changing moment in my life. This isn't lightning round anymore. If you brought that up, like one of the coolest moments in my entire career is when Dale Earnhardt Sr. walked by me at the race shop and kept walking, but said, "Hey, Parney, what's up?" And I was like, "Holy Dale Earnhardt knows my nickname. This is cool." But then, you know, that's one of the things in life. Like right before he died, I was at the race shop and I bumped into him. And I'm like, "Man, I thought you were in Daytona already." He goes, "No, I'm leaving tonight." And I'm like, "Well, I just gave away my last Dale Earnhardt autographed baseball at a meeting today." He said, "Well, go get some. I'll sign them before I leave." And I was like, "It's 3:00. I'm going to finish this meeting and I'm on this side of Lake Norman, so I'll just go home. But I'll put them in there for when you get back from Daytona." And he never came back from Daytona. So whenever I want to procrastinate now, I literally think back to that moment.
Yeah.
And like, do it now, man, because especially at my age now, almost 60 years old, you're not guaranteed tomorrow, right? So, but I didn't know him really, really, really well, but just being around that aura, I just hit the mic, sorry. Around that aura of Dale Earnhardt Sr., like young people today don't really, he's been gone since 24 years now, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, Dale Jr. is the man now, but Dale Jr. was just like kind of this punk kid back in the day when I was around. So the aura and the generation, when we had his funeral at our ballpark in Kannapolis, one of his services, not the main service, but like a community service. And I walked out there was like 6,000 people there. And I walked out into the parking lot just to count license plates. There was 37 different states. People drove from 37 different states to honor Dale Earnhardt Sr. So, yeah, I don't talk about that a lot because it's been so long ago, people don't bring it up. So thank you for bringing it up. He was, again, I didn't know him great, certainly not like I know Jerome, but he was pretty cool just to be around. Where I grew up from, I grew up in Locust, North Carolina, like Dale Earnhardt and God were neck and neck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
And God's pretty popular where I come from.
Yeah, he's pretty popular down there.
Yeah.
And the last question, and you can think about this one, an untold story that you haven't told a million times, and you are going to tell us.
Well, I don't know which one I told earlier, but I when I was telling it, I'm like, I've never told this story in public, but now I don't remember which one it was now.
Or an untold fact about the diamond, or an untold...
I haven't told the story. If you really want something nice that'll really mess up this whole entire podcast and it'll give you something to really turn into a clip.
Definitely want this one.
I wet the bed till I was 15 years old.
Wasn't exactly the untold story I was thinking was going to come out, but okay, all right, it's out there
on
now.
the Parney Time podcast, we have a saying: you never know.
It's out there now.
You never know what Parney's going to say, and you never know what's going to happen on Parney Time.
Maybe the last thing I might have thought would come out of your mouth, but you know, it's untold, and now it's out there. Now it's been told.
I've been holding back in therapy not to talk about that publicly, so thanks for bringing that out.
Well, we won't get into the pants then. We won't get into the signature pants, but you are going to continue that, right? I mean,
yeah, it's part of who I am now, right? I mean, I think I told you off air that
even in your new role, you're still going to be rocking.
It's part of the Parney brand, and you know, as we break out into the Parney Time podcast, you know, which has been fun that we've been doing for 2 seasons now, and I'm hoping to do a Parney's Pub in the Diamond District, and the pants will play a big role in that. And people just love the pants. And, you know, and if I can make fun of myself a little bit by wearing crazy pants and not caring, and my wife not caring, and my kids not caring, and it gives people joy. Like, I can't tell you already today how many people just yelled out of their car, "Love the pants." Yeah. So, like, especially in this day and age, everybody wants to be so hateful and so unkind and so this and so that and so negative. If the pants can bring a little bit of joy to people, then that's what I'll do. And when my dad passed away, I didn't have any regular pants to wear, so my mom's like, he'd be cool with it,
Yeah.
So I really enjoy it, and so someday you might see a Parney pants brand somewhere around.
I look
Richmond
forward
too,
to it. I look forward to it, and I look forward to the pub too. I hope that materializes.
And we're also, the last thing, I know we're trying to get out of here, but we're also trying to work with a group to bring professional hockey back to Richmond as well. So I'm doing all these things.
Wow.
I got a head nod.
That's
over
kind
there.
of like an untold story right there. Yeah.
So that's just one of the things. And there's there's a lot there. There's a lot of twists and turns, and I don't want to jump into the deep end of the pool like I did with Carmack's Park and the Squirrels and the Diamond. But I think that's a missing thing in this community that I love.
Yeah.
And if I can play a small role, to your point earlier, of the institutional knowledge that I have and that Lou has, because just about everything that I'm doing it with Lou. That's how much I love Lou. So ultimately, hopefully someday we'll have professional hockey back in Richmond.
Is that like in the works?
Been working. I had 3 phone calls about it last week.
Wow.
Now,
That's interesting.
Now we don't have a place to play, so we get back right where we
So
started
you're not
from.
exactly dialing it back. I mean, you're kind of dialing back the baseball aspect, but you're still like,
No,
I mean, your notepad is still going to have a lot of things scribbled on it.
It has
It's
a lot
not,
on it, but the priorities are a little bit different. My health is first. Well, my family's first, and then my health. And like every day, the Peloton is like nothing's going to get me out of the Peloton
good
every
for you.
single day. And just making sure that I'm not. If something gives me stress, I've learned how to alter it, avoid it, adapt. Like the therapy words for those of you that are in therapy like me.
Right.
And that's been good for me. So I'm not going to have a schedule where I get back into the addiction. That's probably the untold story. That's what it was. That's what it was. I've never publicly said I was addicted to my job.
But you now see that you were.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm rehabilitated.
Well, I mean,
But, oh, man, I just told everybody I peed the bed for no reason. Oh, man, I screwed the pooch on that one.
well, I mean, we've gotten a variety of untold stories out of you, Parney, and it's been a pleasure. It's been so fun having you.
It's been great to be here.
Yeah.
I hope you have amazing ratings for this one.
Thank you for all you've done for Richmond, and thanks for helping to get this across the finish line. I know there was lots of people, but I mean, you are the face of it, and you are the energy. I mean, you have been. So thanks for that from a baseball fan. I can't stop you at 6 a.m. on your walk, but I have you in this chair, so I can tell you thank you.
I mean, like I told somebody the other day when they stopped me somewhere and I was with Tanya, and they're like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to say thank you. And I looked at them, and I'm getting tearful. I knew I was going to have to cry on this show before too long. It makes for great television and podcasts. But I said, don't ever think that it doesn't matter when you say thank you to somebody. It means everything to me because there was so much roller coaster-ish, and I know it means a lot for Lou. I'm hoping Lou's not here every day, and Lou. I'm hoping that he gets to hear a lot of people say that to him because, again, to me, he's the real reason. All of us had a little bit of a role in it, but Lou as the owner could have done whatever he wanted to do. So anyway, that means a lot to me that you would say thank you. It comes naturally to me to want to do the right things for Richmond because I love Richmond so much. My wife was born here, raised here, and as I've already stated, I love everything about her. So we'll continue to try to do the things. I didn't want to go away. I just wanted to slow down. So hopefully Parney and Parney Time and Parney's Pub and all that can still be impactful in Richmond because I want to use the personality and the energy that God gave me to be impactful in people's lives and help them. And hopefully I'm still doing that.
I have no doubt you will be. Thanks so much for coming on Untold.
Thank you.
Untold is a production of WTVR CBS 6, executive produced by Mike Bergazzi and Katie Beck, directed by Nick Maharaj and Brock Taylor, and edited by April Harshman. Follow the show on Instagram at Untold_WTVR.